Well, Barack Obama held his final news conference as President of the United States at the White House. He said his recent meeting with Donald Trump was cordial. He adds that it is appropriate for Trump to follow his own vision.
I have offered my best advice, counsel, about certain issues, both foreign and domestic. My working assumption is that having won an election opposed to a number of my initiatives and certain aspects of my vision for where the country needs to go, it is appropriate for him to go forward with his vision.
And Obama says he will not hesitate to speak up if America's core values come under threat, citing concerns about discrimination and freedom of the press. He also says it's in America's interest and the world's interest that the United States and Russia cultivate a constructive relationship, and that's been his approach throughout his 8-year presidency. Let's get more on this now, and I'm joined by Lesiba Motata, the Chief Economist, Investment Solutions from Johannesburg, and Dr. Hisham Ibrahim, Professor of Financing and Investment at the Cairo University. You both, thank you. Now, Lesiba first, exit Obama, enter President Trump. Do we know what's in store for Africa?
It's not very clear what the president-elect's thoughts have been around Africa, but what we understand is that he's inheriting a world where low growth has dominated the situation, that which has now been termed a secular stagnation globally by those who are studying this outcome. So what he has now planned and what we know he has put on the table is to have fiscal policy begin to take the lead away from monetary policy to make sure that growth comes about. In that, it includes infrastructure spending.
Dr. Hisham, let me continue with you, Dr. Hisham there, Lesiba, because Africa is anticipating some tough immigration laws. Is this likely to hamper any cooperation, though, between Africa and the United States?
I think what we need to happen is Africa needs to combine itself together to make sure that they engage the AGOA agreement that's ongoing, which has proved to be quite beneficial for both parties.
Well, let me go to Cairo now and draw in Dr. Hisham there. How will the African continent, though, benefit economically from Trump's administration?
Of course, the new administration, the new administration's Donald Trump and his teamwork will focus internal the situations, the economic situations inside the U.S. I think he needs to make a big reputations. Of course, he will visit a lot on the infrastructure projects like schools, like hospitals. I think he will visit more on the transportations, on the railway, the airports, and I think all of these investment, of course, will affect negatively for the outside investment of the U.S., especially in the African continent.
Dr. Hisham, I'll stay with you for the moment because, of course, we don't exactly know how the Trump administration will look at Africa, but there are a few indications there, particularly when it comes to like aid packages, and President Trump has talked about local, domestic investment as opposed to foreign. How do you see that affecting Africa, though?
I think the new policy of U.S. Under the Donald Trump will be short against some other countries. I think the relationship between United States and African nations, I think, will affect negatively by the new policy, and this will be a good opportunity for other countries like China, like Russia. We have seen 2 days ago the speech of the China president in the Davos conference. I think the other nations all around the world looking for a big role from other country besides the U.S. I think the all nations looking for the Russia or looking for the China, which is playing the second economic power in the world.
Right. Let's see, but to you in South Africa, and we've heard there that Africa is expecting a big role from other countries other than the U.S., though. So how should the continent package itself in order to benefit from any goodies that are coming from developed partners?
What's coming out recently is that fiscal policy needs to do a lot more work to make sure that growth is better globally. And in it, it means infrastructure spending, fiscal policy is going to take the lead. There's going to be a demand for commodities. The need for African economies is that we need to diversify. And also what needs to happen is not to lose the competitive advantage we have in commodities. And in it, we've got to bolster production in all commodities to make sure that we take the advantage of the seemingly upward swing that's coming from the demand from infrastructure and all this change towards fiscal policy away from monetary policy.
Right. Lesiba Motata joining us from Johannesburg and Dr. Hisham Ibrahim joining us there from Cairo. Thank you.